I think there's not a good understanding of nickel. Okay, just the element in general. So I want to cover nickel in itself. I mean, if you really think about nickel, it's the reason we exist. Without a nickel iron core of the Earth, we'd have no electromagnetic field, and we wouldn't exist. Our DNA would be toast. So nickel's pretty damn important. Its discovery was so late in the process of technological evolution. I mean, nickel literally was translated as the devil's copper because they were like, "What the fuck is this? It looks like copper, but it
So that's
doesn't
the first
work
time I
like
heard that. No
copper."
way.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean that's the origin of the word. They're like this shit is just obnoxious. And then finally, I guess in the late 1800s, they discovered it as an element, or sometime in the 1800s. And then over time, they began to understand its unique uses. I mean, you can go to 80 to 90% its melting point, and it has the same integrity. I mean, that's God's element right there. I mean, that's something that you can put into steel, and all of a sudden you've got an alloy that can be resistant. So something that was, I want to frame this as, nickel, was forged in the stars, and it's what keeps us going on planet Earth. But literally be what gets us back to the stars because of its heat resistance, its
Absolutely.
resiliency, like as
In
far as in
extreme
rockets.
environments. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you really think about extreme environments, I mean that's how we get nickel here on planet Earth because of the unique tropical climate, the heat, the rain, washing away all the lighter elements and sort of doing some refinement through the climate. And all of a sudden in Indonesia, you've got this deposit that you can get to relatively easily. I want to hear whatever you have to say about nickel in itself and why it matters to like modern industry, the defense space, applications in aerospace. I mean, I think of it in
Yeah.
terms of if we went to war. Let's talk like World War II level conflict. Pretty quickly, the civilian market would be going to scrap, and all the ore in our allied countries would be reserved for defense applications, for armor, for shielding, for electronics, for wiring, for batteries, and even to some extent batteries would get put into second place for electronics and armor. And then when you run out of the ore, what happens? Well, you'd have to have a secure pipeline for raw ore, which means like in a place like Indonesia, we'd have to do some sort of treaty to even allow the ore off the island without it being smelted. So now you really need to develop refineries, or you need
That's the
to.
key.
Yeah.
Refinery here is the key. Where China right now has around 70% of the refining of nickel products in the entire world, and more specifically, 70% of class 1 nickel. And the class 1 nickel is exactly what we need to do everything we just talked about. That is the concern. Is the ability to get to that raw commodity, which we do have in Canada. There's lots of it. It's hard rock, and right now it's not economical. Going to wartime, anything becomes economical.
You'd have to build
But you
refineries.
have to build the infrastructure. There's 4 refineries in Canada. You have 1 pilot refinery in the United States. There are 49 active nickel smelters in Indonesia. It's night and day.